Are you ready to create a life you crave? Let's spin that doom loop of negativity into an upward success cycle and start living lucky.
Good morning.
I'm Jana.
I'm Jason.
And we are living lucky. We're meeting our future selves today.
How exciting is that?
Hey, good looking.
What you got cooking?
That's what I'd say to my future self. What would you say?
I would say, finally.
Finally.
Yes, I've been looking for you everywhere. I'm so glad to meet you.
Really? Would you say, I am so proud of you?
Yeah, I'm just glad to be here.
I'm glad to be you.
That's right.
Right?
Aren't you glad I made it?
Aren't you glad to be me? Is it I'm glad to be you, or are you glad to be me?
I'm glad to be you. So I do believe that there is a future, an amazing future life that is waiting for everyone out there. It's just waiting for you to find it.
Okay.
And all you have to do is imagine it and know what it looks like, know what it feels like, know what it smells like, tastes like everything in it. And then you have to just start being it and traveling to it.
Well, I actually do this every morning. And I don't know if you know this about me. Do you know this about me?
I think I do.
Really?
Yeah.
I have this little exercise that I do in my mind. And I literally, when I wake up, I say, how would my future self feel right now? And my future self is really the best version of me that I can possibly imagine. And then I think, okay, well, what kind of thoughts would my future self have? What kind of feelings would my future self have? What kind of actions would my future self take? What would my future self want to wear? What would my future self want to say? How would my future self, what kind of energy would my future self want to bring today? And then I put myself in that state.
Yeah.
And then I say, okay, let's go meditate. That's what I do.
Yeah, and I say, let's go meet that future self.
But isn't that funny that, the fact that I need to do that every morning is...
See, I think it's exciting.
Okay.
I really do, because then one day, and if you're in that habit, so one day you're going to be that future self. And if you have a habit of doing that, then you just keep becoming the future you. And it's like, you're continually growing into this amazing, wonderful, powerful person.
It's a chore, though. I'm just going to be transparent.
See, I just think
real.
it's exciting.
Okay, but I'm going to say, well, good for you.
Good for you, Karen. No offense, Karen. Write me a letter, Karen.
I'm going to be a little more vulnerable right now, and I'm going to tell you that it sounds great, and it sounds awesome, and it sounds like how I want to be every day. And I wish that it just came naturally to me. However, it is a chore for me. It is a chore. And each and every day I do struggle with where I'm at right now and where I want to be.
See, I just know that I'm excited to meet my future self, because I know I'm not doing everything my future self is doing. Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to get there.
Okay.
But I'm not beating myself up that I'm not everything that my future self is all the time. Because I know that I fall short where I wake up is not where I'm going to be.
Okay.
But I do try to get into that emotional state. I know that I'm not going to go jump on a business's private jet today and fly somewhere to train 1,000 people. But my future self is doing that. I do know that I'm going to be on a stage today training 250 people.
Yes, you are. You are. In about 20 minutes.
Right. So I can live in that knowing that my future self is on a private jet that's being paid for by a company to fly me somewhere to do that.
That is true.
And that's exciting to me. Knowing that my today's self is getting on a Zoom call being paid for by a company to train 250 people.
All over the world.
All over the world.
speaking all different languages.
So I can still be in the energy of my future self, in the state of my future self, in that excitement and that energy, and feeling that, and knowing that I'm still going to be meeting my future self sometime in the near future, and excited about what I'm doing today on that Zoom call. Does that make sense?
Well, of course it makes sense.
And I don't have to beat myself up knowing that I'm not my future self yet, but I'm still traveling to meet that future self. And that future self is going to be going, good job on that Zoom call, because that Zoom call was one of the steps getting you here.
I see what you're saying, and I commend you. And I think that's awesome. I also think that in reality, what you're not connecting is where people are right now. And the fact of the matter is that's where people want to be, is where the place that you're at right now. That's where people are trying to get. And there is a disconnect of the reality is sometimes we wake up and we have this little thought loop that says, I should get up right now.
Right.
I really should go exercise. I really should start my morning routine. I know that I would feel better if I just get up. The alarm went off. I am just laying here. Why am I laying here?
Where was I 4 years ago? I was doing that. I was doing that exact thing 4 years ago.
Right.
I was hitting the snooze button. I was saying, holy crap, I have to go to work. I don't want to go to the office. I don't want to do this. I was not even saying I should do things. I was saying, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do the things that I'm doing.
Which is why you have the confidence that your even more future self is waiting for you.
Yes.
Because you can look back and say, okay, look how far I've come.
Yes, and a lot of times and that's one of the things is sometimes we get stuck in this hypnotic rhythm of doing things that we don't want to do because we're so out of line with our souls, because we've fallen into that trap of chasing things that don't matter and chasing things that are so far out of alignment, trying to find happiness or not even trying to find happiness, but just being numb to life, just being completely numb to life.
So what advice do you have for the person that has not seen the success yet? The person that has not seen the proof yet?
I would say that there is proof. I would say that people give you proof if you look for proof. It's in gratitude. It's looking for gratitude. It's what you did for me. It's writing down what you're grateful for every single day. You made me write it in a journal every day, not repeating for a long time. And I was like, it's
a process.
It is a process. And then it was identifying the things that I wanted to do, things that brought me joy. And when you said, let go of the things that you think you have to hold on to and do what you love. And I fought it and I fought it. And then I said, this is what's given me purpose. And then you said, it's okay. Let go and do it. Do what gives you purpose, but do it all in.
That is so key, to go all in. There is a latency period though. And I feel like that is where people don't quite understand, is that when we are in the middle of a transition or in the middle of a change or any kind of adapting, there is this latency period, or even manifesting. There's this latency period where we decide, okay, I'm going to make a change, and we go all in,
that
like
first year
you
is
said.
like a kick in the nuts.
And yes, we decide to go all in. We start making these changes, and we don't
shelling out the money.
See the proof or the results that we expect or that we want to see.
It's like it's a pucker factor is what it is. It's like the oh crap what have I done? It's the moment. It's the free fall. I've just jumped out of the plane. Please, God, let this parachute work.
It is. It is. And here's the thing about it, because I've experienced this many, many, many times. In fact, I would still say I struggle with this. I still struggle with this. I feel like it's the free fall where the worst thing you can do is start listening to your doubt voice.
And sometimes the people around you, because the people around you know you from before you started living in your purpose.
And they don't understand what your future self looks like, or what kind of change you're trying to make, or who you're becoming, or why. They don't understand the transition that's happening. And also they find it a little bit threatening.
Yeah. So I was talking.
And when I say threatening, it means that when you're changing, it means that they're not.
Yeah. So I was talking to the group of coaches that I work with on Mondays and Thursdays. And I love metaphors. So I was talking to them about this exact subject. Because when you're going through this type of growth or this type of change, it's very transformative. And the people around you, it's almost like you're a seed in the ground.
Yes.
And you're finally growing out of the soil and seeing the light. And you're trying to peek back under the soil and tell everyone what's happening and how beautiful and warm the sun is.
Yes.
And how nourishing the sun is. And you're saying, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Please come up here and experience what this light and this warmth and this glow is all about.
Yes.
And they're saying, you're crazy. It's so nice down here and it's moist.
Why would I leave the shade?
Yes, and
this dirty soil.
It's dark and moist down here. This is what we're used to.
This is the protective darkness.
Yeah, the wind. We're not getting blown by there's no wind down here. There's no friction.
Yes, we're not exposed to the elements.
But we're up here going, no, it's nice and warm and glowing and beautiful, and I can see for miles.
There's freedom, and you can soar.
And the wind is refreshing.
Possibilities. And
they're like, no, it's stagnant and moist and still here.
Yes.
And no one understands. And they say, please come back and be like we know you. And it's very hard.
It is so hard because sometimes...
And then we doubt. We're like, is it better down there?
I know. And then that's the worst thing
because
you can
a hard wind comes.
That's the worst thing you can do, because then if you start going back and forth between
vacillating
worlds,
between the two, yeah.
Then you start using all your energy of, okay, am I this? Am I that? Am I this? Am I that? And you can't fully embrace into one or the other.
And I tried that, and it was crushing me. And I wasn't flourishing in either. And I would submit that you cannot flourish where you're not in purpose.
That's so good, Jason. So good. Yes. And
your future self is definitely in the light.
Always.
Yeah.
Some good stuff today. Good stuff. Yes, I struggle with this, but I am always searching for my future self. In fact, sometimes I pretend that Miss Future Jana rings the doorbell. And I'm like, oh, I wonder what she has to say.
Let me go meet her at the door.
And I sometimes can picture exactly what she's wearing. And I picture her on the stage winning an Academy Award. And I'm like, an Academy Award? Oh. And I picture her on Dancing with the Stars.
I picture her on Dancing with the Stars.
Get ready. Get ready for that one. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. What does your future self look like? Think about it. What kinds of thoughts does your future self have? What kinds of feelings does your future self? And what is your future self willing to let go?
Yeah.
I mean, that's important to know.
Yeah. Send me an email on what your future self look like and doing. And send me an email at admin@startlivinglucky.com.
And also, who does your future self surround themselves with? Did I get all the pronouns correct there? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, those are the questions to ponder today. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye. If the idea of living lucky appeals to you, visit us at startlivinglucky.com.